on this bullshit.
That's right.
Because for my community to not even think about what more that they can be is like tearing down their wings, and that's not okay. You're telling babies that you can't dream, that you can't do more, and that's not okay.
Not okay.
At the end of the day, immigrants are the most hardest working people on this fucking earth. And I will not have these babies be looked down upon. I will not have these babies saying that they can't do more, because they can always do more. More than fucking Amy. Whatever she's doing, whatever agenda she got, she better put us in there. Because at the end of the day, we deserve more.
That's
We
right.
are more. So can you say it again? Immigration is a natural human right.
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 Thank you.
Can we give it up one more time for our students, y'all? And I also want to say thank you to MIRAC for having this action, and to all the other organizations that made this happen, to the marshals, to the MCs, to the bus drivers, to all the car marshals, everyone here, Tlazokamati, thank you. And just know we're going to keep being here and keep chanting, because the food that you get, it comes from somewhere. The reason why you're sitting in those offices, it comes from somewhere. The way that the schools and every single building in downtown and in the city is here, it comes from somewhere. And it obviously comes from our people, from our communities, working so damn hard. So it's time for us to act. And for those that are listening in comfortable seats, I urge you, to any DACA recipients, to anybody out there, I urge you to come out, come fight, because it's time for us to act. These senators, these whatever peoples with their titles, they're not going to do anything for us unless we show them. So I encourage everyone to get out of comfortability, get out and start fighting for our people. Because every single person here is fighting for us. And we need to fight for future generations. So when we say Clean Dream Act now, wait, no, when I say Clean Dream Act, you say now. Clean Dream Act? Now! 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 When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
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 Hello everyone. Welcome. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We are live here in downtown Minneapolis. Thank you, Chris, for running the back end. It is about 30 degrees, a little bit less. People have taken to the streets in front of Amy Klobuchar, Senator Amy Klobuchar's office, calling for a Clean Dream Act, calling for the legalization of all dreamers, DACA recipients, and TPS immigrants under temporary protected status, calling for the legalization of them all. So over about 3.6 million affected immigrants that could receive legalization, that this crowd out here in Minneapolis is calling for to happen. They're calling for Amy Klobuchar, who's part of the Senate Judiciary Committee, to sign the bill to allow legalization of dreamers and TPS. There is a blockade of several blocks here, of two main blocks, in the middle of rush hour here on Thursday. This is Washington Avenue at the edge of downtown Minneapolis. That is 12th Street in front of us. And over here is the entrance to the freeway I-35. No police action has come. The action here started about 35 minutes ago, and speeches have happened. There's speeches we're going to go and listen to in a moment. And within that, people started taking the streets about 10, 15, 20 minutes ago to stop the traffic as a mode of civil disobedience. We're going to listen into some of the speeches now.
I'm a U.S. citizen as well as a Mexican citizen. But I've known many people that have DACA, many people that have TPS, a few folks that have DED, and they have been to me friends, they have been peers, they have been comrades, they have been family. And I think, we all agree that they deserve some sort of peace of mind, that they will not be displaced from their homes, from their friends, their loved ones, their families, and their communities. Which is why we're here in front of Klobuchar's office to demand that we pass the American Dream and Promise Act as a top priority to create a pathway to citizenship and permanent residency. Democrats really tend to talk a lot about how they're on our side, about how immigration reform is the right thing to do, but they never follow through after they're elected. They always ask for our votes, they always ask for our support, they always have our faces at the front, and all their little postcards and shit they send out, but then at the end of the day when it comes, we're not even in the office, we're an afterthought.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
The lives of undocumented people and their families and communities are not just talking points to get them into power. They are real working people with day in, day out struggles that come with being an immigrant in the U.S. as well as further being undocumented and having their only safety nets like DACA, TPS, and DED constantly under threat. The threat of what in many times is not their first displacement from taking place and uprooting them from where they've come to call home. So Senator Klobuchar, while running for president in 2020, said that the best way to protect dreamers is a new president, meaning a Democrat over Trump. And so right now we have a Democrat in the House. We have Biden, right?
That's right.
And we have a Democrat-controlled Congress as it stands.
That's right.
But this is going to change very soon with the Republicans taking the House in the midterm elections. So if there's any shame left in the Democratic Party and any shred of their supposed support for DACA, TPS, and DED recipients, and they should pass the act introduced in both houses back in 2021.
That's right.
Senator Klobuchar continued in her primary campaign talking about immigration reform. She said that the best way we can get this done is to pass comprehensive immigration reform, which creates a path to citizenship to so many hardworking people, will bring down the deficit by $158 billion, and will bring peace for these dreamers. The time for talk is long gone. She talks a lot, but she hasn't done shit. And if she cares about these communities, the senator must act now with her colleagues while it's still possible. There are nearly 600,000 DACA recipients in the U.S., 300,000 TPS recipients, and nearly 100,000 DED recipients in the U.S. from all over the world. In Minnesota, there are nearly 3,000 TPS holders and 4,700 DACA recipients, of which 3,700 live in the Twin Cities. These are people with friends, families, jobs, homes, and lives here. They live here with us, they are our neighbors, and we must do all that we can to protect them as communities, together and struggle for justice, and take every measure we can legally to help them find stability. The time is right now. Pass the American Dream and Promise Act and let's create the pathway to citizenship and stability for our neighbors, comrades, friends, and families. Y si no lo hace el gobierno, la comunidad siempre estará dispuesta a defendernos de nosotros. Aquí siempre debe de mandar el pueblo. That's all I got. Thanks. Thank you, Memo. Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
Hey, Amy, don't delay. Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
Immigrants are under attack. Amy, time for you to act. Immigrants are under attack. Amy, time for you to act. Immigrants are under attack.
Amy, time for you to act!
Immigrants are under attack.
Amy, time for you to act!
Immigrants are under attack.
Once again, we are here at downtown Minneapolis in front of Amy Klobuchar's office, where we're documenting a rally to legalize the status of about 3.6 immigrants in two specific statuses: the DACA Act, the Dreamers,
Amy, time for you to act.
and TPS recipients.
Immigrants are under attack. Amy, time for you to act. Immigrants are under attack. Amy, time for you to act. Immigrants are under attack.
Amy, time for you to act!
Immigrants are under attack.
Amy, time for you to act!
What do we want? When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want? When do
So
we
again,
want
for
it?
about maybe 30 minutes now, people have taken to the streets and blockaded the avenue of Washington Avenue here in downtown Minneapolis. A very important thoroughfare for drivers, especially after they're done with work. There is a way where people are able to go through some of this gas station and get onto the freeway if they wanted, but all of the traffic back there has been clogged up for a long time now, 20-30 minutes. Again, people are calling for Amy Klobuchar to push the Senate Judiciary Committee to pass the DREAM Act, the legalization for millions of immigrants who are here under protected status right now, but that status could be going up. We're going to go back to the speeches.
Hey, Amy, don't delay! Hey, Amy, don't delay!
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay!
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay!
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay!
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay!
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay!
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
Wait. Oh. When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
When
Act!
do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
When
Act!
do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
When
Act!
do we want it?
Now!
We're gonna try some Spanish now, okay? Repeat after me. Amy, escucha.
Amy, escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
Estamos en la lucha!
Amy, escucha.
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 Estamos en la lucha!
So again, people are here outside of the office of Amy Klobuchar, a senator from Minnesota, who is a former Hennepin County attorney.
Hi everyone, I'm Diana.
So again, the traffic is stopped up. There was some honking over here. The big purple lighting you see is the US Bank Stadium where the Vikings play. That is downtown Minneapolis behind those buildings.
As Rocky mentioned, I have some quotes here from our friend Amy Klobuchar.
Let's hear some Klobuchar quotes.
You know, it's been very enlightening to see the words that she said lately about immigration reform. So I don't know if you know, but just a few weeks ago, Amy was given the Courage to Lead Award by, I believe it's the National Immigration Forum. Yeah, leading in immigration. Could you believe that? And at the speech, in the speech that she gave, I'm going to take out some parts because it went on for quite a while. She said, quote, "I believe in my heart that immigrants don't diminish America. They are America." She went on to say, "And we do have another moment as we see this change going on in the House about moving the DREAM Act along. And there is some possibility if we could pair it with some of these other issues and the like, and some of the border issues that we could do." So already we're starting to see some concessions and compromises being made regarding Border Patrol. She then went on to say, "We are certainly schooled in how to make agreements on this in the Senate. We have done it 3 times now. And I just can't think of anything more important right now." She then went on to say, "Who knows what would have happened if my grandfather would have been deported." And this was her speaking about her own personal immigration history background. Going on, she said, and here she was speaking to the people in the audience, "I want to thank you for being willing to use the strength of your backgrounds for such a good cause, whether it is business, whether it's out of law enforcement, whether it is out of activism, whether it is out of your faith. So thank you so much, and let's get this done." Well, we are out here, Amy. Where the fuck are you? Community has been showing up for this issue. Where have you been showing up? Because I've been looking through your socials, I've been Googling, and girl, I don't know where you've been, but you certainly haven't been speaking about this act. She has shown that she is capable and willing to compromise and work with Republicans on issues such as the Afghan Adjustment Act. And yes, I want them to have a pathway to citizenship and a pathway to legalization, but I want that same effort to also go to all of the people who have been waiting on this to go through. You can't pick and choose. Legalization for all. So until you're able to back up your words with actions, until we're not just another pit stop on your re-election campaign, I don't see how we are able to continue supporting you. Honestly, I haven't supported you in quite a while, but because it seems that you are the best of 2 evils, again, here we are. Where is the action? Because I don't see it. Now, they also always like to frame this act and dreamers in an economic framework because it's all about the money. But even then, they don't do it well enough to be able to get this through. Because we know that as much as we know that this is an issue about humanity, about keeping families together, dreamers contribute so much to the economy. They pay taxes. And yet they're not legally represented in this government. We have fought a whole fucking revolution about this same issue. So that's why you're seeing us out in the street. So I'm calling on you, Amy, to get this through. We've seen that you are capable to work with Republicans on immigration reform issues. So we want you to put that same effort behind this act. And we want a clean bill, not a dirty one that's just going to bite us in the ass sometime down the line. I don't know if anyone else wants to speak.
Thank you, Deanna. What do we want? When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
When
Act!
do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
When
Act!
do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
When
Act!
do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
When do
Act!
we want it?
Now!
Hey, Amy, don't delay. Pass the Clean Dream Act today. Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
All right, we're gonna go to these lines and check them out as the chants continue. Again, we're here in downtown Minneapolis, where hundreds have gathered, maybe 100 or so have gathered out here in front of Amy Klobuchar's office. Senator Amy Klobuchar. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And so
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
we have a blockade. This blockade has been happening for over 30 minutes now, I would guess. There's some water getting brought in. And here is the blockade. Easily seen with the green light. Seems like that's what they're looking for. They got the cone out here. They got the airport looking light directing traffic. So again, the traffic is going like this extra little up this alley out through Bobby and Steve's. So it's really clogging up a lot of traffic here downtown at rush hour in Minneapolis. Again, people are gathered to demand that Amy Klobuchar and the Senate pass legalization for immigrants, specifically DACA recipients and TPS. TPS is temporary protected status. It's like the U.S. government plays a lot of paperwork games with people who don't have papers, who need papers, as in other countries as well. This is one of the struggles for legalization for all, is what the sort of tagline for this one is. Again, that's downtown Minneapolis. This is traffic on Washington Avenue getting stopped up by this blockade here. And again, this blockade is basically immigrant rights activists. That's Amy Klobuchar's office in the distance. So again, we're here live streaming from downtown Minneapolis. Immigrant rights activists have held a blockade out here in front of Amy Klobuchar's office. Amy Klobuchar is part of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and they're calling on her as part of that to push other Senate members and to push her to provide legalization for immigrants.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
We're gonna go over to this. I'm gonna check out this this blockade over here. Again, there's been zero police interaction with this action, with this protest here. We are in the middle of rush hour here in Minneapolis. Traffic cannot flow through clearly on Washington Avenue. This is I-35. Right up there is actually where the bridge that you see those lights emanating in the distance, the little blue lights. That is actually where I-35 broke and fell, killing a bunch of people. So this is what it looks like from the vantage point of these drivers. This person says something about he has to go 5 miles away or something. Again, that is downtown Minneapolis. In distance, I-35 entrance right here. Basically, it looks like police have stopped, traffic control has stopped traffic from coming down into Minneapolis from this way. So that's why no traffic is piling up here, because traffic control have stopped all traffic from entering into downtown Minneapolis from I-35. This is the Washington Street exit, Washington Avenue exit. So all these folks are getting, having to go specifically a different direction. Most likely I-35, swing that around. Excuse me, I-94, swing that around. Or continue on I-35. And even also could get off on Hiawatha. There's a lot of options. But that is the freeway traffic, interstate traffic as we look at it right now. What's up, man? And that is the moon. A very beautiful moon tonight. So, again, this is the D-blockade. We'll get you some more clips from it. That's Bobby and Steve's mobile station. They basically have a police there, stationed there all the time. Police there are also helping to maneuver some of this traffic that's flowing through from Washington Avenue, from downtown Minneapolis, trying to get out of downtown. Coming east. So you see how some of the, it's like not all the traffic is stopped, but traffic coming west, coming west into downtown off of Washington is definitely stopped. And again, there's people who are gathering in front of Amy Klobuchar's office, and speeches have been made, chants have been chanted. And the crowd continues to gather here in Washington Ave in downtown Minneapolis. Sorry about all that.
so I'll just be choosing whatever I can get, or like whatever is important. Otherwise, I'll be on the phone. So
Okay.
just in case.
Yeah.
If you see me somewhere,
Do you,
so
do you know if people are just going to wrap it up or they're just waiting?
I would stick around.
Let's chat as long as we can. Okay, when I say, hey, Amy, don't delay. Pass the Clean Dream Act today. Hey, Amy, don't delay. Pass the Clean Dream Act today. Hey, Amy, don't delay. Pass the Clean Dream Act today. Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today.
When immigrants are under
code will drain batteries.
Yeah,
but
we're good now. All right, can you explain that again? I apologize.
Yeah.
Can you explain what undocumented means?
Undocumented means you don't have essentially legal status to be here in this country, and there's a whole bunch of different statuses that give you permission to stay and find a job and get access to public services. So if you're undocumented, you're here without permission, in essence, from Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Department of Homeland Security. So for most Asian undocumented, that's about 16% of the undocumented. That means they came here with some sort of status, like a visa, to work, to get married, to go to school, and that status expired, and they decided to stay because they had built a life or have a family or are just fleeing something back home that they fear.
Now, when a person decides to stay, what does that mean for that person? Like, do they have extra stresses in their everyday life? Can they not participate in specific parts of society?
Yeah, for the most part, you can have a life here as an undocumented person. There are 11 million, I believe, undocumented in the United States. They're actually a big, important part of the economy. So you can get a job and you can pay your taxes, but you cannot get access to any of the benefits of being a citizen, such as, some healthcare programs. You can't get tax refunds when they're distributed, and there's other scholarships and other things that support people who are living on the margins that you can't get access to. What it mostly means is you live in a state of fear and you just try to put one foot in front of the other. In Minnesota, it means you can't today get a driver's license. So if you drive, you're doing so without permission and to get your kids to school or to get medical care or to get yourself to work. And so, yeah, it is a state of constant fear, especially, again, if you have loved ones that depend on you.
Okay, well, thank you for all that. So we're talking about DACA and TPS.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about those two specific programs?
Yeah, our immigration system has not undergone a wholesale reform in quite a while. The last significant progressive reform was 1965. As a result of the pressure of the civil rights movement. So thank you to those people who made the sacrifices to eliminate our racist quota system that was in place at the time. But since that time, we have not really taken another look at expanding immigration in a progressive way, in a humane way, and in a moral way. So there have been occasions where presidents have taken executive action, in essence giving special status to certain groups of people. So one of those statuses is temporary protected status, which allows people who are fleeing a very, life-threatening situation to stay in this country until that situation is resolved. So that might be people fleeing war or natural disaster or some other kind of countrywide, life-threatening situation. In the case of DACA, President Obama signed an executive order granting status for children of undocumented immigrants who are brought here when they were very young and through no fault of their own now find themselves seeking jobs in school that they couldn't get because they didn't have status. So DACA gave them permission and status to seek jobs, to enlist in the military, to go to school and get scholarships with status. But that status was signed in an executive order, which means that it is not legal. And right now, in front of the Supreme Court, they're debating. There's a case that they could end that status and say that Obama or any president had no right to grant that.
Wow. Okay. And then, so right now, Amy Klobuchar is sitting on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Can you talk about what they have the power to do?
So there is an act that has been really driven by the Dreamers, as they're called, the DACA recipients who bravely came out and said that we deserve the right to live lives without fear. So that led to the American Dream and Promise Act, which would provide a pathway to permanent citizenship for millions of undocumented, including people with temporary status like DACA recipients and temporary protected status. So that bill would put into law this pathway to citizenship such that the Supreme Court or a future president could not end that status and suddenly make all those people deportable. That law, as you know, in our legislature has to pass both houses of Congress. It passed the House in 2021, and then it's now in the Senate where it has to go through Judiciary before being brought to the floor of the Senate for a vote. The Judiciary Committee has not sent that bill forward, even though it is controlled by the Democrats, and Amy Klobuchar sits on that committee. And so that committee has the power to bring that bill to the floor for a vote of the full Senate and put senators on record about where they stand with respect to Dreamers. And that's what the American Dream and Promise Act is, and that's where Senator Klobuchar has great influence right now, and why we're here in front of her office in particular to pass that DREAM Act.
Thank you so much for all that. What else we missing? What else you want to talk about?
Just call your senators. They got together and did bipartisan urgency to pass the Respect for Marriage Act to protect thousands of LGBTQ plus families. They can do that for DACA families. We want a Clean Dream Act, which means they don't go into negotiations and append a bunch of militarization at the border and expand ICE in exchange for these dreamers whose lives are really just being held hostage. So I would just tell everybody, this is something that has broad support. Let your senators know we can get this done. They did it for the Respect for Marriage Act. They can do it for the Clean Dream. They can do it for the American Dream and Promise Act. Pass the Clean Dream Act now.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, thank you for being here and supporting these kids. That's why I'm here too. So
appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much. What was your
name again, bro?
Greg King.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks, Unicorn Ride.
Yeah, I'm Nico. By the way. Thank you, man. That was really good. Yeah, nice.
Cool, you know.
We got a rap coming on.
The heart, I wrote it for my mom, and just anyone that has a similar lived experience as me. So here it goes. Oh, it's not done, by the way. It will be finished. I just need to drive around and finish the lyrics. So it's coming soon, though.
I did not catch the artist's name, but this will be a rap about immigrant experiences, from my understanding. And this person has created this piece themselves.
Hola a la raza, yo les vengo a contar de mi familia, mi pasado, mi presente cultural. Vengo de momentos muy humildes en mi vida, comiendo frijolitos con un cacho de tortilla, intentando que nos alcance para toda la semana, rompiéndome la madre de la noche a la mañana. Mi madre y yo juntábamos botes de la basura, porque la pinche renta nos traía en apuras. Momentos muy bonitos y humildes como eso. Se te olvida que tu primo todavía está preso, se te olvida de las pinches injusticias de la vida, porque las días pues estás como si fuera un salvavidas. Recuerdo que papá llegaba tarde del trabajo, llegaba muy cansado y más aparte estresado. Recuerdo que mamá tenía un chingo de que hacer, pero todavía tenía tiempo para darle de comer. Ambos en la noche se sentaban a platicar de la migra, de los viles y un fulano por allá. Conversaciones muy fuertes que nunca podré olvidar, grabadas en mi mente como un disco sin parar. A la edad de 5 años empecé a trabajar con mis padres, día y noche le tuvimos que jalar para sobrevivir un sistema que es capitalista, que mata a la gente día a día lentamente, que el señor se suicidó por los biles que no pagó, que la doña se cruzó para los Estados Unidos, que los niños nunca tuvieron su padre al crecer, pero él lo daba todo para darles de comer, que la doña no ha visto su mamá y su papá. 20 años han pasado sin saber nada ya, lo único que los une es la luna reflejar y un aparato que a veces ni sirve la señal. Hola, yo les vengo a contar, mi familia es un pueblo llamado Tlancolpicán, es pequeño y hermoso y nadie sabe dónde está, pero colonizado hasta la madre ya está. Thank you. Thank you, Angelica, for allowing me to be on the mic. Y'all, let's give it a one more time for hip hop artist K! Woo!
What do we want? Clean Dream Act. When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
Hey, Amy, don't delay. Pass a Clean Dream Act today. Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
Hey, Amy, don't delay.
Pass the Clean Dream Act today!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean Dream
want it?
Now!
Immigrants are under attack. Amy, time for you to act. Immigrants are under attack.
Amy, time for you to act!
Immigrants are under attack.
Amy, time for you to act!
Immigrants are under attack.
Amy, time for you to act!
Immigrants are under attack.
Again, we're here live in downtown Minneapolis. There is certain metro transit security out here. There's no police that have responded yet. People have blockaded Washington Avenue for probably over 45 minutes now, maybe an hour. There is, as I stated earlier, the security of Bobby and Steve's out here trying to direct traffic. Traffic has been rerouted as people have blocked off, used a hard blockade of cars. About 15 cars are blocking traffic off of Washington Avenue here in downtown Minneapolis. Again, these are immigrant rights activists calling for the legalization of all immigrants. Legalization status. How you doing? I'm okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Oh wait, are those small Gatorades? Oh heck yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. No, I'm okay. I'll open it later. Thanks. Yeah. That's Justice Frontline Aid walking around handing out goods, drinks, waters, Gatorades for people. Try to grab an interview or two in a minute. Just give me a few. Trying to see what's happening. Here's an interesting one where they have to maneuver a bus through the blockade, and they're actually going to move a vehicle to maneuver the bus through the blockade. So again, traffic coming out of downtown is getting rerouted off of Washington to go in these back streets behind off of 12th Avenue and behind through Bobby and Steve's and then out onto the freeway exit there. The freeway exit is I-35. That gets you over to other streets as well. And that bus, Mystic Lake bus, was able to go through Washington Ave. So again, this action is organized, from my understanding, by MIRAC, Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee, Anti-War Committee, and several other different organizations related to immigration as well.
What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? Why do we want it? What do we want? Why do we want it?
I was sort of starting to monitor some things. I thought some things were about to happen, but
What do we want?
I'm going to ask for an interview in a minute.
Why do we want it?
Again, we're here in downtown Minneapolis.
What do we want? Why do we want it? Why do we want? Why do we want it? How are we feeling, y'all? Thank you to everyone who's still out here, y'all. We are still going to be here. Thank you to the people out in the streets again. Let's give it out to them. Woo! We're going to be here until they know. They need to know that we are not going to move until they do something. We are not going to stop until they pass the Clean Dream Act. So what do we want? Clean Dream Act. Why do we want it? Now. What do we want? Clean Dream Act. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean Dream Act.
When do we want it?
There's a police car. I can't tell if it's coming over this way yet, though. No, it doesn't look like it. We'll see. No, they're turning onto the freeway. So it's been really no police action over here, really. We got, again, this Metro Transit vehicle here, but no other police interactions. Again, people have taken the streets for probably over an hour at this point, calling for legalization for all, outside of Amy Klobuchar's office. So these folks did not move for that vehicle. The police vehicle went around the blockade, drove onto the sidewalk. They did move for the police officer up there.
I was trying to jump in your car and move it out of the way. I didn't even realize you were in there. We're using their phones and driving.
Everybody, we're so powerful that the city doesn't want the narrative. They don't want this story to get out. They don't want to know. They don't want an article saying that people protesting for immigrant rights were arrested in front of the office of a Democrat. Yeah. Bourgeois democracy has failed us on the issue of immigration and a number of other issues. But they have failed us on the issue of immigration from the national level with the inability and unwillingness to move DACA. They've struggled at the state level with driver's licenses. It's taken over 15 years for this thing to even get talked about. And at the city level, the conservatives on the council shut down the implementation program for municipal ID. We are going to keep us safe. We're the ones who are going to protect our neighbors when they come for us. We've made our point. We disrupted business as usual. Because at the end of the day, if you're not fucking up someone's day, it's not a protest. And here's the thing, we are going to keep coming back and back and back, and we are going to pound on this issue harder and harder and harder until we get a clean Dream Act, until we get municipal ID, until we get driver's licenses for all. So we're going to end with a chant, we'll be back, we'll be back. We'll be back! We'll be back! We'll be back! We'll be back!
We'll be back!
We'll be back!
We'll be back!
And I promise you we will be back because we will be heard. The corporate media, bourgeois elected officials can do whatever they want to try to silence us, but our voice will fucking be heard! Before we're done, I want to tell everybody that on January 3rd, at noon, on January 3rd, at the Capitol, we're having a rally for driver's licenses for all, hosted by Immigrant and some other groups. I believe it's at noon, but someone tell me if I'm wrong. Noon!
January 3rd for driver's licenses for all. This is another important issue for immigration reform and to protect the rights and safety of immigrants. Thank you all for being here today, and a big fuck you to Jacob Fry and his cops for not wanting the story of Democrats stopping immigration reform. Thank you all.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm live right now. Would any of you all want to talk?
Maybe we should speak to some of the organizers or the students.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I was just asking you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, yep.
Clean Green Act! Now! What do we want? Clean Green Act! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Clean Green Act! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Clean Green Act! When do we want it? Now!
I know you got a vest on, but would you be down for an interview with us?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You know what? Sometimes.
So a couple of the organizers I was going to talk to, I think, dipped off. So we're going to call it there. It looks like people are wrapping it up. We're going to stay here and watch till these cars leave to see if everything's okay. With these cars, what it seemed like is that potentially they were waiting for a potential reaction at some point from the authorities. They did not get it, as the words at the last bit were basically that they were thinking that the city was sort of scared to allow people to get arrested for, obviously, like the article, the media side of things, being arrested in front of a Democrat's office on immigration reform. We're going to go up here and check some of this out as we potentially close out for the night. Again, thank you all for joining. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Chris running the back end. Bookmark our website, unicornriot.ninja. Follow us on the social media field. In the social media field, I guess. Anyways, we are a nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit educational media organization. We do this because you allow us to do this. Any support you have for us is very loved and appreciated, and it allows us to continue our nonprofit independent media. We definitely are seeking recurring donors, and we have a store now, a merch store, for you to get some swag and support us. I'm going to be quiet, and we're going to watch some of these cars leave the blockade. Now somebody is arguing with them as they're wrapping up. Somebody screaming "fuck you" to everybody.
It's just instinct. Pure instinct.
All right, so this is the other side of the blockade. Looks like folks are gonna start leaving this blockade. Again, this action was basically immigrant rights activists calling for a legalization for all. There's 2.7 million recipients of DACA, Dreamers. People are calling for that to not just be an executive order from Obama, for it to actually be reality and legalization for all immigrants. There's also about 700,000, at least, so 900,000 TPS recipients, temporary protected status. People are also calling for their legalization. It looks like people have mostly wrapped up this blockade and they are trying to finish it up. Some of the traffic is getting a little bit antsy. They're like, come on, come on, come on now. Looks like the last car is moving out and they're moving out of the street. And now traffic is flowing through. So that was that. Here in downtown Minneapolis, we had a really good interview with Greg King earlier. I believe that's his last name. I'm going to cut through real quick. And if you want to check that out, check it out on our website or on the stream. Go back a little bit. We have a little post about this on our website with just the stream. And we might have some more information later on. Maybe some more images or a small video, but we will see. Continue to follow us. We have a lot coming up in these next couple days and weeks. Again, this is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Check unicornriot.ninja is our website. We are on mass. It's this mic. So I apologize, we had audio difficulties a couple times. The receiver continues to go out on us, and it is not these batteries, it is a receiver. So I think it's just years of utilizing this receiver. We have to get a new one. Anyways, if you like our work, continue to support us. You're the reason why we're able to get new equipment, and so thank you so much. UnicornRiot.ninja, as well as bookmark our site, as well as follow us across platforms. We will call it a day here very shortly. I'll see if anybody wants to speak. Anybody want to speak at all? Before I wrap up the live stream? No, I'm not. You don't have to. No pressure. No pressure. Okay, no. You want to speak at all? I'm wrapping up the live stream? Okay.